There's nothing like being in the stands cheering on your favorite team. Game Time is your hack to unlocking amazing tickets in just a few taps. Plus, their Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets at the best price. Fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. Get the best deals on sports tickets. Download the Game Time app and create an account to start searching for tickets to upcoming games and events. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Game Time.
If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Jennifer Carriere. She began her script supervising career after she caught the bug for film and TV productions in New Orleans. Interesting. Yep. She left a successful career in civil engineering and has script supervised hundreds of episodes of television and dozens of feature films, leading her into producing. Today, she's mentoring people to earn a six-figure salary to hobnob with Hollywood's elite by becoming script supervisors. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and where are you connecting from today?
So I'm connecting from Atlanta, Georgia, which is kind of like my second home. I am from New Orleans, Louisiana, and that's where I got my film career started, actually. And then I sort of pushed into Georgia and share homes between the two. And then, of course, travel for gigs, when those opportunities arise.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So it's interesting because a lot of people wouldn't think that New Orleans would be the place where you discover, your dream job or being a script supervisor. How did that happen?
So it's so crazy, but thanks to film and TV tax incentives, which are all over the globe. I mean, I think we have them in almost every state in the U.S. There might be 40 states with incentives and 10 without, or possibly even fewer without. So that was just an amazing blessing. It brought Hollywood to my doorstep. It was completely unexpected, okay? I was called in to help a friend, an actor friend who I grew up with, to basically do a PA type job on a TV show.
Okay.
And once I was on set, I was like, oh,
this is exciting.
I don't want to go back home. I want to be here. So I was working at the New Orleans Corps of Engineers, and I had the opportunity to freeze my status there for up to 6 months with no penalty. I was called back to the TV show that I just did the one day on initially, and invited to work the whole series, which I did. So I froze my status at the Corps of Engineers, worked the entire season of that show. At some point, I got a text from my amazing boss at the time at the Corps, like, "You're not coming back, are you?" And I said, "No, I think I'm gonna be moving on." So I actually ended up resigning from the Corps, and as soon as I did that, the 2007-2008 writer's strike hit. Okay,
oh my gosh,
everything shuts down. But guess what? It was an enormous blessing in disguise, because when the work came back, because strikes always end. And
Yep.
When it ended, the tidal wave of work kept me so incredibly busy. And that's how I got good really fast at script supervising.
Oh, interesting. Well, how did you even know about it? And what is a script supervisor?
So a script supervisor is I have a very unique definition for it. I call it a mini director, mini producer, screenwriter representative, actor sidekick, editor advocate. Okay, we seriously do tie together those 5 zones. Okay, I have to make sure that everything will cut in the edit so that everything tracks in story context, and both in story context as well as performance. I have to communicate with other departments, kind of like a producer does, making sure that we're shooting everything correctly and efficiently and shooting it correctly the first time, so preventing reshoots and waste and, of course, just lots of costly mistakes. I'm thinking like a director, okay, so I'm thinking about how we're covering the scene with camera angles, and are we telling all the pieces of the story we're supposed to be telling? So the director's going to turn to me to make sure they're covered, not the other way around. And then, of course, I'm representing the screenwriter who has written the screenplay, but I'm there on set enforcing it, making sure it's we're shooting it as written and intended by them. And then, of course, representing the editor, making sure that they have the roadmap for cutting the piece to the director's liking, because they're not on set. They're in a dungeon cutting dailies and stuff, So it's literally like I'm doing all 5 of those things at one time, and it's pretty darn exciting.
Wow, that's so interesting. And how did you do this transition from being a production assistant, helping out your friend, to learning about being a script supervisor? Did someone just recognize your skills and realize that you might be good to try?
Basically, that is what happened. So I bounced around all the departments, okay, because I was just having so much fun. I actually ended up a union camera assistant because my 2 camera assistants.
Interesting.
Yes, they sponsored me. They were like, "You're talented. You're going to be in camera with us," So I was in this wonderful camera department on a feature, and one of the camera assistants said, "Script supervising is also like right up your alley. You should look at it. Go talk to that guy," because I didn't even know what one was. I mean, it's just they're in the background, just in the.
I had never heard of it before you. Either.
No, there is so little awareness. People go to film school for directing, screenwriting, producing, maybe editing, and of course, performers go to school or take classes in acting. No one realizes how much this ties all of those together on set and how you work. Those are the people you work most closely with on set. So it's amazing access to the inner circle, the creatives, backing up to a camera assistant said, you should go talk to that guy right over there and just ask him what he does. And that man ended up becoming my script supervisor mentor. And it was a beautiful friendship and relationship. I'm forever grateful to him for getting me into the position, because it was like I found my thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's like gold, finding a mentor, right? In something that you could be very skilled at. And he believed in you. He saw something in you that he knew you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was just such a generous person. He was an expert. He was, I would say, the best in, the city, had come from another state, had gone to actually Howard University in DC, and came to take advantage of all the work in the Louisiana market because of the film, tax incentives. And he was just a wonderful person. So I really do owe it to him. So I ended up repaying him by, he ended up staying in my house rent-free because he actually had a home in another state and his family lived out of state. So he ended up staying in my home with me for a couple of years. And we just, worked together. We traded, job information. If I needed a second unit person, he was there. If he needed someone, I was there. I mean, your relationships are everything in film and TV. So you have to have great relationships. 95% of our gigs come from the people we know, not from, cold submitting to, a job board or something like that. They come from our friends and our network. So,
yeah, because they want their friends on the set with them because it's a long day and they can trust them.
Someone we can depend on. Exactly, someone we can depend on. And so that's actually, it's interesting because kind of going back to what we were saying before, how nobody knows about the role. Right. Script supervisors are like the most in-demand job that I know of in film and TV because people don't go to film school for this, So anytime my UPM tells me, please, I need a second unit script supervisor for 2 weeks, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to find someone. And this is in every single film market. There's a scarcity, there's a shortage. So one of the things that I'm really focused on right now is mentoring future script supervisors and putting them to work. Because we need them. I mean, honestly, the industry needs them.
That's so wonderful that you saw an opportunity for others, that, for not only building your own success, but for others. So what's going on with the Hollywood market right now after the strikes and everything? Is it getting resolved? Like, how is the environment?
We are in negotiations now. So I believe the Los Angeles mayor is helping facilitate. And
okay. Now, what does that mean? We, like writers, actors, just so people know and have some context, because I think there's different groups that were picketing or whatever it might be.
Both the writers and the actors picketing.
Writers
and yeah, so it's basically, one side of the table is writers and actors, the other side of the table is the studios. And so we are wanting a deal that is going to work for us going forward. We are wanting a deal where our jobs are protected, where we're not going to be replaced by automation, where our images and voices and
like AI.
Like
artificial intelligence.
Exactly, artificial intelligence. We don't want artificial intelligence writing the scripts or literally creating actors using human images and voices and recreating it. I mean, we just can't be replaced by robots. So that's what's at stake.
But that's happening in social media. I was kind of naive that was really happening. That these AI people have like 1 million followers and people think they're real. It's just like bizarre. It's bizarre to me.
Strange times. It's truly strange times. But you just cannot take the human element out of storytelling. You cannot take humans out of filmmaking. And so we're not going to accept that. So that's what's at stake. But honestly, I'm very encouraged. I'm hoping a month from now we'll just be back on. So we're the fact that we're negotiating and not just, not talking to each other is encouraging. And I think that we'll have a breakthrough soon.
That's very positive and interesting. Does the mayor typically get involved? I have never heard of that.
I have never heard of it either, to be honest. But I think, Governor Gavin Newsom actually offered to get involved early on.
Might have in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's everybody wants people to stop hurting. Everybody wants to just go back to work and resume our lives and our amazing careers making movies. So that's what we want.
So what type of engineer were you? Civil?
Civil. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what type of work was that? Were you doing? Before?
Gosh. Basically, I was so new. So I was supporting my more senior engineers who were designing bike paths, and
yeah, but that's really interesting.
It was. So I love math. I love problem solving. I love figuring out tricky problems, so I was well suited to it. What I was not well suited to was the sort of rinse and repeat nature of just, going to a cubicle for a certain set of hours every day. It wasn't that I didn't love my work and my colleagues, but honestly, I wouldn't have known any better had I not stepped onto set that first time, because I was in a comfy, secure career, and then walked away, so.
Yeah. And what did your family say, or your friends?
Oh, my friends were over the moon.
They were excited.
Oh my gosh! A lot of my friends were theater friends. So I was like, so that was
They're like, go, you did it.
Yeah. So there was crossover, thanks to the tax incentives. A lot of my theater friends were working in film and TV, and so that's exactly how I ended up getting that connection to that TV show. We were all for it. My family did not bat an eye. they were totally supportive. They were like, you're going to do whatever makes you happy. And I did not look back. And trust me, I did not freak out when the strikes happened, by the way, in 2007. I was just like,
I think that's important.
Yeah, it's going to end. If anyone believes that the film and TV making industry is going anywhere, they're crazy. It's not going anywhere. We need to tell stories. So it's not even a remote concern for me. And it wasn't then either.
Yeah. And how do you feel your skills or your education as an engineer made you a better script supervisor being on the set?
Focus for long periods of time, attention to detail, problem solving, efficiency, execution under pressure, urgency, stamina. Did I say stamina already?
Because you're working like 12-hour days, is that why?
We are.
Or longer?
We're working 12 hours, well, sometimes longer. But also because we don't have a second to lose on set. Every second costs a fortune. So that's what I mean with the stamina thing. As the script supervisor, which is a mini producer, mini director, all those things combined, I'm not in one of those roles where I can go step away and hang out at craft services for 15 minutes because I need a break. It's not like I set up, grip equipment or something and then I can go tap out and shop on Amazon. Not that grips do that. I'm just saying like there are positions where you work hard and then you get to relax while we're rolling. This is the opposite of that job. Every minute of the day has a purpose. There's always something that I can be doing. And so I train my people to keep this, at the front of their minds, that there's always something to be doing to get ahead, because we're solving problems before they happen. That's one of the big values that we bring to set. When we're shooting out of continuity, it's extremely confusing. I mean, picture, shooting, of course it makes financial sense to schedule like sets together, no matter where they are in the story. So if we're going to shoot a grocery store from the 1950s and then that same grocery store in the story which appears in present day and then flash back to it, in 1901 or something. We're going to shoot the grocery store that same week. And so we need to just be changing out the sets and shooting it and making it look as though it were shot in perfect sequential order, which it never ever is. That would cost a fortune. So somebody needs to be on top of not only every single detail when we're shooting, but someone has to be making sure all of the departments, who are all spread out doing a million things at once, are completely on the same page. Okay, so that's easier said than done, because there's just, film sets are high pressure, departments are oftentimes stretched thin, we're substituting in day player people in various departments, so they maybe didn't get the memo that X, Y, or Z was established, last week, and we need to make sure it matches. So there's just so much in terms of making sure we're shooting it correctly and efficiently the first time, because reshooting costs a fortune, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, so do you have a company where you can bring people in that are trained by you, or do you teach people to be like an independent contractor and then find their own gigs? Okay.
Yes, that is, so 95% of our gigs come from our network. So that is what I would be doing a disservice to them if I just offered some job board and said, good luck, here you go. Like, we need to truly build your network from the ground up. And so, I have people all over the place, working, all over the US, including Hawaii. So we have to use the same strategy that I or any other, successful, film and TV maker used to build their network, so that they're just working all the time in the markets that they are wishing to work in.
Oh yeah, so that's amazing. Do you recognize when people have these skills, like you have these skills? Do you ever say, oh, I think you should try something else, like this isn't for you?
I've never once had to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, people who are eager to become screenwriters, people who are eager to get their work seen, people who are eager to direct, people who are eager to act. It just seems to work for every single creative who wants to skip the line, so to speak. Skip the line's kind of like maybe not the right way to say it, but who wants to have an automatic access to get their work seen. So it's kind of like via the script supervisor role, which just so happens to be, again, like one of the most in-demand jobs in the industry, because there's so little awareness of what it even is. People don't go to film school because it's barely touched on in film programs. So I have not come across a person who was not suited to it, I guess you might say. Everyone who works with me, they're very, very eager. They're chomping at the bit to break in.
Yeah, that's amazing. So why do you feel the demand is growing for this? Do you feel that just now film sets and TV producers are realizing that they need this role? Was there a time when the director did this or the assistant director?
Never. In the old days, I believe it was called Script Girl or something. No, seriously, one very, very, very old, I believe he was like an actor like trainer or something. This is hilarious. He actually called me a script girl one time, but he was like an ancient fellow from another country, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but continuity has been a role. I mean, I'm just picturing, for example, Some Like It Hot, a Billy Wilder movie from the 50s, I guess. Continuity is like listed right in the front of the movie, in the front credits. I would say it's more just been overshadowed by film school programs that are, promoting directing, screenwriting, producing, acting as the way to have a glamorous, Hollywood career. It's surprising to me how truly little awareness of it there is.
Yeah. And what about your own life? Because you have a busy life doing this. What about like your personal life? Do you have a relationship? Do you have kids? Like, how is that going in your life?
So I actually never had kids. I am very, very tight with my family and my niece and nephew. And I have a huge South Louisiana family. South Louisiana family is like 1 million babies. So I'm the exception. Yeah. So, yeah, all of that is going very well, I would say, but I am child-free myself.
Okay. Well, it feels like a good job to have when you don't have kids. You don't have to like come home and be there for your kids.
Although most of the script supervisors I know do have kids. My mentor, for example, he had 5 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yes, 5 kids. Yes. I'm trying to think of a single exception to that. I have a few girlfriends actually who are script supervisors who have not had babies yet. But most of them are just normal family people and happen to get lucky enough to find out about this job and get in. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. So when you say think like a director, so what does a director think like that can help you be a better script supervisor?
Well, we're always thinking about telling the story with camera angles, okay? So the audience cannot see what we're creating with their naked eye. We have to show them with camera angles. So I have to be thinking like, have we told every piece of the story in this scene with camera angles? And I have to do it really, really quickly and thinking about it directionally so the director doesn't turn to me and say, Jennifer, have we got everything in this direction? Because we're half an hour behind. I need to tear everything down and turn around. I can't say, oh, yeah, I think we've gotten it all, and then figure out, oh gosh, actually we totally missed that child actor's close up, and he's already been sent home because they work fewer hours and he's pumpkined already. That's one thing, thinking like a director under pressure, but also just that we're telling the story in the right context. Again, we're shooting out of continuity, so I have a responsibility. We always start our day with private directors rehearsals. Director, script supervisor, actors, and DP and AD are usually there as well. I have to immediately tell the director, I believe this character is walking in the wrong energy. Remember, he was just in his car having a meltdown, but he's walking and greeting everyone like it's the best day of his life, Yeah.
So you have to catch that.
Constantly.
You have to catch that. Yeah.
Oh, literally constantly. Yeah. So it truly is that we have to support the director and make sure they're telling the story right. And we have to communicate it quickly and succinctly. We have to make our case very quickly. If the director is, of course, directors are under so much pressure, as many people are on set, but they might be eager to move on from a close-up or something, and I have to have the courage and make the case why we cannot move on. Jennifer's close-up. The first take, the boom was in the corner of the frame half the time. I know you don't want to punch in on that. You said you don't want to punch in on it. And the second take, the clip cut in the middle, so you're missing part of it. I know you're eager to move on, but we don't have a take yet. And I just have to be able to say it. I have to be able to to pitch shots that I think are missing, that I'm always thinking, what will the director be missing in the editing room? That's one of the things I have to be thinking. What are they going to regret not having? I have to make a case for getting coverage that I think they ought to get, even if they're so frantically ready to move on. They're not seeing that way. So I'm a foot from the director all day long, and I have to be.
And you have to have that confidence because they're counting on you to stand up for what's needed.
Absolutely. Even if they're stressed out in the moment, they will thank me, 3 days later when they see a rough cut and they're like, thank God you made sure that we got that. Honestly, they appreciate you for it. And that's just kind of one of those things where you have to have thick skin and courage, and just say what you know is right and help them. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. And I owe it to the producer as well, who hired me. The producer cannot be missing shots. The producer, it's not fair to let something, because there's so much pressure to move on, that I don't speak up and say, I know this take isn't right. That would require a reshoot, a very expensive reshoot that we may not even be able to get if actors have already moved on to their next project in Toronto or something. So we really do have to be thinking in the moment every day. And that's what I like. My brain is a restless brain that does not like to sit still. So, if I'm on a really slow feature film shoot or something, because I love really fast-paced, high-pressure TV. It's so fun. It's like you're on the go all the time. If I'm on a slower set, I'm looking for something to figure out. I'm like, okay, let me look at the schedule 3 weeks from now. What can I get ahead of? It's like I just always want to be problem solving, ahead of time. So
that's interesting. So are you working on anything right now? Are you working on a job right now or no?
NDA-wise, I will be discreet about it, but yes, I am working.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. A secret project, but look forward to hearing about that when you can talk about it. So that's great. But you're able still to have, what do you have, one day off a week, or what's your schedule?
Oftentimes 2 days a week. So shooting schedules vary. So we do night shoots. oftentimes on a Monday, we'll be called to set at 6 a.m. or something, and by Friday night we're called to set at 6 p.m. So that's the only complaint I have about making movies and TV is just the shifting schedules, because it really gets you mixed up with your sleep. So I'm not a big sleeper anyway, so I guess it was meant to be that I work, in an industry where, having consistent hours of going to bed is not a thing. Of course,
got it.
There is pressure though to protect workers, actors and crew from crazy turnarounds and, really exhausting hours, or, 6 days. Sometimes we have to pile on a 6th day, especially on TV series, to catch up if we've fallen behind. And that just gets to be exhausting. So we're pushing back on that for just better conditions on that.
Yeah. I think that's so important. So have you ever dated anyone from working on the set?
Oh gosh, yes. I don't want to name names, but when you only...
Did they make you sign an NDA as well, Jennifer?
Actually, no. But when you only work, when you only see these people, because when you're in a show, you're completely absorbed in it. That's your thing. That's your world. That's who you meet. So you naturally just end up dating who you're around. So
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have fallen in love on set before, for sure.
Yes, and some of those dates might have worked out, and some of them didn't.
Well, oftentimes we're on location. So, there in the industry, it's called like a location ship, so it's like you get to have your time together. It's kind of like a little fairy ship. It's kind of like a little fairy tale, when you're away, and then life goes back, resumes when you go back home. So, yeah, I've been very consistent though the last several years about my location. I have traveled quite a bit, and I love traveling. But when you fall in with a studio and a crew and cast members that you love, you want to keep going back to that. So, or at least I did. So I've kind of found, my place.
Oh, that's great. And so how do you get your balance? Do you work out? What are your stress relievers for our audience?
So I do love running. I do find that is the place where I am completely at peace. So not that I'm a competitive runner. I mean, this is truly just casually jogging. So, I trained for a race last year and did it, and that was quite enjoyable. I do love reading. I try to participate in book clubs. I've been able to do it sometimes, but if the meeting times don't work, then it's just reading on my own. So I just have certain book lists that I like to go to. And yeah, I love cooking. I love seeing my family,
Oh, that's good.
Really
what about
thing.
cooking? Louisiana Cajun, or like, is there a certain type of style, Southern or?
I was vegan for a long time. I actually had to give it up for health reasons, which is a whole other story. But I really, really still love cooking and eating vegan food. And then I like just simple food. So, just just 4 or 5 ingredient meals. I love simplicity. So, kind of the opposite of what you get from from Cajun food. So,
yeah, that's true. The exoticness.
Yeah, I do love to go and get a bowl of gumbo and fried oysters and all of those naughty things when I'm in town. But yeah, mainly I just keep it simple.
So your diet now, you had to switch. What was happening with your health?
So this is not veganism's fault. It was my fault for not taking care to make sure I was balanced. But
it's not veganism's fault.
It's not veganism's fault. I promise. It really was me. It was operator error, but I ended up severely anemic and hospitalized. So I had to.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. But then there were all kinds of other problems that sort of arose, sort of as a result of letting my body get so weak. So uncovered some other things as well. So that was challenging. So since then I've been back to just, clean, but omnivore, but with a huge focus on vegetables and plants because I love them. And they make
me still love them, yeah. But there was something maybe in the meat, like was it specifically red meat that you might have needed, the iron?
Iron, yeah. And again, this is not, in no way am I advocating for or against any particular diet. I'm not even qualified to do that. But
this is just you. This isn't your interview. It's okay.
It was my own operator error. I didn't have a good balance. I was, just kind of depending on convenience foods and just not really I wasn't looking after my health, quite frankly. So.
Yeah. So regardless if it was vegan or whatever it might be, because sometimes you think, I'm vegan, everything should be fine. But because I vegan, I switched from a keto to vegan diet about 3 years ago. But I definitely need to watch and make sure that I get the right nutrients. That is something, and I need to take supplements.
Sure. Yeah. And I did not do my own due diligence and make sure that I was covered. So again, my own fault.
Yeah. But it's kind of easier to be an omnivore on the set, isn't it? For your diet?
Easier. It is easier. Yeah. So
because the food could just be amazing, right? I mean, how's the food?
Oh gosh, honestly, the food, it's like an all day long buffet. I mean, I started just bringing my food because I was like, I cannot just be thinking about craft services all day. I have a job to do. It's so tempting. We're very, very spoiled when it comes to catering and craft services. They go all out. So yeah, you're never going to go hungry, and there's always something for everyone on set. So.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So now, do you bring your own food?
Oftentimes I do. I do.
Okay.
If I can't, sometimes, especially when I was healing from the situation that, I experienced, the caterers actually made me my own plate of food. I mean, honestly, they were so good. That's also producer status, so they were really cool about, giving me a little help. Yeah, it just depends, but I do prefer to bring my own if I can.
Yeah,
I batch cook,
wonderful.
And then and bring my little Yeti, and I'm covered.
Oh yeah, for the week.
I cook once a week, and I eat all week. Yeah, from the freezer. So,
Well, that's impressive because my husband comes from the film business as a cameraman and DP.
Nice.
And so I always knew the food was just amazing. And sometimes he'd have me and the kids on the set. So I have two kids, but he would never even think about bringing his own food,
Really? Oh, if it works for you to eat the catering and craft services every day, that's honestly for me it was more like there's an overabundance of, options, and like I need to be focused on, so let me just have my thing that's right here. I can just whip it out and even, stay at my station or something and just be, in the zone, or relaxing on the sound stage instead of in the catering tent, which is, very loud and energetic. Sometimes I just want to take that half hour to reset and just be quiet. So that was another reason why I decided to go that route too.
No, I think that's smart. That and makes your day flow maybe easier.
It's just nice to have a break, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. So what about famous people that you've worked with? Who's the most famous person you've worked with? And did you ever get like starstruck or nervous?
You get really, really comfortable with working with stars because you have to, like, you just, from the minute you meet them, you have to be their colleague, not a fangirl or something. Probably one of my favorite experiences was working with Jeremy Irons. I was on a TV show with him, and he had a really, really, ridiculously intense line load. And he was having these speeches, he had to say speeches that were almost impossible to read because it was like a sci-fi project. And so he was saying
so it wasn't like a natural flow.
It was not
where
natural
he could ad lib.
At all.
Yeah.
It was an unbelievable amount of very challenging dialogue. So I would work with him for hours every week. Honestly, that it was. We would hang out in the parking lot. He would smoke and just walk in circles, and we would just run and drill lines together. I'd be in the trailer with him, while his makeup artist, did all these various things because again, it's a sci-fi series, so he had a unique look for it, and it was just so much fun. And he could not have been a nicer, just gentleman. Just easy to hang out with, just easy to laugh with. I ended up becoming friends with his longtime makeup artist, and she's been with him like 35 years or something. We stayed in touch after the project. So while not starstruck, I was definitely aware of what a joy and unique thing it was to just hang out with someone, of that, status all day long, and just be their friend and support. So that was amazing.
Yeah, of that caliber. He has such a diverse acting range. More than I would say a lot of actors. He can play like the darkest roles, and
he really can. He just absorbs himself in the role. He is so incredibly, he's done it all. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a really interesting and fun experience, and something, after this whole conversation we've had about what a script supervisor does, like I couldn't even imagine that you would be doing that with the actors.
Oh like my
working
gosh.
on their lines. And because I was thinking that you were doing, more like with the director and so
actors are my best friends. We have to work so closely with the actor. We have to step on the set the first day they arrive. They're bearing their souls in front of the camera, and we're walking onto set and telling them this doesn't match, that doesn't match. This is, so we could come across in a very punitive way. We don't want to do that. That does not help anything. We have to be their friends. We have to have them trust us. Honestly, I tell all my trainees, you have to have warm, trusting relationships with the actors. We don't want to, break the creative atmosphere. We don't want to break the mood that they've created for their character, but we do have to step in and correct them all the time. I say support them. We have to, or collaborate with them. So we have to let them know, look, so, in the master that we're using, you played this whole speech twirling your hair. And so in this close-up, we haven't had a hair twirl version yet, so we do need to get one before we move on in case the director wants to cut, from this to that. So, I just have to, explain very succinctly and warmly and respectfully what it is we're looking for to make sure that their performances work in the edit. If I don't do that, their best performances could get cut out, so I would not be serving them. I would not be serving them if I did not work with them on matching, and on story context as well. Kind of like what we talked about earlier with an actor walking into the scene with the incorrect, previous circumstances in mind, where we're coming from, where we're going. So I work with actors very, very closely all day long, and so they're like my best friends now. Just from the amount of time we spend together. So
Yeah, that's amazing. And tell me about your training program. What inspired you to put together a training program, and how many trainees do you have and everything?
So I was inspired to put this together. I think it was 2018. I thought of it, okay, because we were so strapped for qualified script supervisors. And honestly, anytime you would find out you needed to bring one on, it became this huge stressor because we just could not, there was no one available, and there still isn't. So I thought, if I had to train a friend, and I literally visualized my actor friend who first got me into TV. I thought, if I had to train him to script supervise, and just get through the week, what would I have to train him? What's exactly what I need from him, and cut out all the waste. That's what the program was born out of. Getting results, cutting all the waste, and just getting people to work. So I tested this on a handful of friends and also just aspiring script supervisors in my area, and I think in a couple of other states as well. And the results were amazing. So I found that we were putting people to work like way faster than you would think. And then they were coming back and getting this amazing feedback from their productions, getting rehired, and then also a number of them getting promoted, like walking away with a producer credit. Or
Wow.
I literally have people who were asked by their production companies to please submit a script for them to produce. I have a woman
Wow.
who was writing her own Christmas movie, and the production companies hired her to direct it. This is based off of her first paid script supervisor feature, which she got right out of the gate. She didn't even do a short film before that. Like, she literally, I got involved actually, so I helped her get this gig. But she got hired right after her first gig. So I'm seeing it over and over and over. I'm seeing it a lot with producer, like script supervisors just getting promoted to producer. And also I have another guy who's just been asked to deliver a screenplay for a gig that I got him on in Austin. And, he's like, none of this would have happened without you, So it's
My God,
been
that's
really
magical.
It really is. And I was not expecting that effect. I was just expecting, my goal was to get people ready to script supervise. But my method, which of course I favor high pressure, fast paced TV. That's just where I have the most fun. So my method cuts all the fat anyway, because I have to. We're shooting like much larger numbers of pages a day than is standard. So I suppose it was just the natural outcome of training people in my method. So I have another woman, she sent me an email on day 4 of her first feature. She was in marketing before she decided to work with me as a script supervisor. She sent me an email, here's what I learned from my director on day 4. And she blurred out the director's name, but she sent a screen grab of the email that he sent her saying, your work is so phenomenal on this project. I'm giving you a contract here, which gives you a 1% share in the proceeds. Yes, I'm going to have the screen grab. It's like, this is working. So it's working really well for people.
Oh my gosh. Well, tell me about your training program. So how long is it? Is it virtual? Is it automated? Is it live? Tell me about it.
Yeah. So it's virtual. So you can do it it's on demand. So you can train at any time that works for you, anywhere in the world. We meet online in mentorship meetings. So that's where you get your face-to-face mentorship and also your community in a meeting with you. And we have a community set up through the platform so that people can share and help each other, because of course the network is everything. And then this is kind of a crazy thing, and you're probably not going to believe me if I tell you, but I really do this. 911 on-set support via the phone. Literally, if you're on set and stuck, I'm texting with you back, getting you unstuck. So that probably has a lot to do with why people are getting such crazy results on their first gigs.
My God, that's above and beyond.
Dude, and guess what? It's never once been abused. Never once has it been a problem. Never once has it been a problem at all. It keeps working and it keeps helping, so that's why I keep doing it.
Well, that's amazing. So have people called you very much? The 911 support?
Mainly texting.
I mean texting, of course, because you're going to be on the set, so you wouldn't call, but yeah.
Yeah, no, they're pretty well prepared though. So I've had a couple of things, and I can literally go through my phone. Nothing that is not easily surmountable, nothing that is not just a simple fix. So honestly, it works really well, and it gives them it gives them a peace of mind. Because one of the hardest part is just the making yourself do it, because it's something scary and something new. So the fact that they know they have me right there, a phone, a text away, or a phone call if they need it, it just gives them peace of mind and the confidence to go for it. And then, of course, going for it is one of the big, drivers of success, of course. So when people go to set and do it, and then they perform extremely well, and then when they're walking away with producer credits, or, having been hired to sell a screenplay to the production company, it's like, it's working. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So how long is the program that they have to do online before, do you certify them?
I do offer certificates. Yeah. So, I mean, a certificate is as useful as people believe it is. It's like, I'm happy to do that when people want it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do technically certify them. And if that means something to the, producers that they're applying for, that's great. But oftentimes people don't even ask for one because they're hired before, they ever even ask for one or get to that point of asking for one. So mine is, again, very, very efficient. You can complete it in around 16 hours. Of course, it's meant to be done. It's on demand, go at your own pace. So I have some people who just knock it out in an intense weekend, and I have some people who like to draw it out and just keep showing up to the mentorship meetings and just letting it soak in. So I have everything in between. I have some people who, again, just knock it out and go straight to work.
Oh, that's so amazing. I love how you made it accessible and just available all the time, and 16 hours. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I used to do it live on the weekends when I would have 2 days off, but that was not convenient for most people, because it would be like very, very intense weekend. We have people on the West Coast who are starting at, they had to get up at 5 a.m, in order for us to start at 8 Eastern, so it was not as convenient as this on-demand version, where they still get all this access to me in mentorship meetings and via phone. So this seems to be working much better for people.
Oh, that's great. So you started this program in 2019?
2018, I believe, is when I conceived of it. And then
2018.
Really, it was, and so I did it just like on a one-to-one basis back then. That's what it was. So I had just a few people that I nurtured into it through 2019. And then during the pandemic, I had to keep myself busy. So that's when I made it more of like a formal class. And that's when we were starting to meet
what a
live.
Gift.
I know.
You had a little slowdown. Yeah.
And then create this, so in the original version, everyone was forced to show up live, and that, kept it more challenging for just people's schedules are just all over the place. So now it's truly flexible.
Oh, that's amazing. So how long have you been script supervising?
Oh,
when did you start?
15 years-ish. Yeah, because I would have done I think I did my very first project in 2009.
Okay.
What is that? Yeah,
that's
going on.
That's amazing. You're definitely a pro. I mean, I was thinking, maybe she's done it 10 years. That's incredible. And you still love it, and you're helping other people to love it.
Truly. And the thing is, my main concern is people not knowing about it. Like now I'm seriously on a mission, because people are missing out on this amazing opportunity for fast access. Honestly, people will wait years and years and years to get their self-funded feature screened or seen. This is like, you get relationships with these really powerful people on set, and then they love you and want to see your stuff, so it's like getting your own creative work seen, by these players that are these pros. It's invaluable. So that's what I'm trying to really let people know. Give this a try. It works really well.
That's amazing. And then do you actually get people jobs?
I have gotten a number of people jobs. It's everybody has to do the work, so
I don't make it seem like it's easy, but I'm just because I feel your heart that you're really a giver. So I like.
Yes. So any time that there is like a match, in a marketplace, and there's a person there, then of course I'm recommending them, and that's how Sean in Austin got his gig, which turned into they want to now produce some of his work. Same for Danica in New York, same for Brianna in Savannah. I mean, they're all over the place. Andrea in Hawaii, I mean, all over the place. So anytime I can match make, I absolutely do. But we have a strategy where people build from the ground up in their market, in whatever market they want to work in, so that they can do it the right way, which is truly get the relationships, get the network where you are, and you're off to the races, like once you're in. So the calls keep coming.
Yay, that's amazing. What is Zen success to you?
Oh my gosh, you caught me totally off guard. I would say feeling, oh my gosh, you caught me off guard with this one.
You're not used to that, huh? After all these movies and TV shows.
Oh my gosh, you might need to edit for just a second.
Just take a deep breath and feel into it. Just feel into it. Close your eyes and feel into it.
I would say feeling that I'm in a state of success that feels right, that feels calm, that feels, or I feel contentment. So I'm experiencing success in a way that is peaceful and meaningful to me. Does that work?
Yes. I knew you had it in you. I knew it was in your heart.
Closing my eyes was key.
Yeah. Getting you back into centered. So what's next for you? Do you want to keep training more people? Like, what are you seeing for your future?
You know, I just want to keep solving problems and having fun on film sets, you know, so making movies and putting people to work. Honestly, the training program is so much fun that we're just growing. We're not slowing down at all. We're doing the opposite. So it's still, again, you didn't even know what a script supervisor was. It's just not, there's not enough awareness, and we really, really do need talent, you know. I mean, this is true. I mean, I hear it from all my people in every marketplace. Like they get into the network and then people tell them, thank God you're here because we don't have anyone, you know, or we don't have anyone who's qualified and, you know, we can't call anyone. So we're not slowing down. So that's my true focus going forward.
Well, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you, learning what a script supervisor was, and hearing about Jeremy Irons and all the people that you've helped. And I'll put your website and how to connect with you in the show notes. So thanks for joining me today on the Zen Success Show, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure. Wonderful questions, and I appreciate it.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to ZenSuccessShow.com to help you on your Zen Success journey. And join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.